Hello and welcome back to the Bright Light Wellness YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here today. Today, I have a really exciting topic that I want to chat with you about. I want to talk with you about how homeopathy is the ultimate quantum medicine. So first of all, what does quantum mean? Quantum means I'm getting down to the smallest unit of measure, the smallest particles. So I'm getting down to electrons, protons, neutrons. I'm getting down to the subcellular level, the cellular level. I'm getting down to the inputs of light and magnetism and frequency and energy, right? So to me, the ultimate homeopathy is the ultimate quantum medicine. And this is because what it's doing is it's working at the quantum level. But really, what homeopathy actually is an energetic imprint of a substance from nature. So, what I mean by an energetic imprint is that there is actually no original or crude substance left in a homeopathic remedy most of the time, depending on what we call the potency. So, certain potencies will have some of the crude form and the energetic form, and some of the potencies will have just the energetic form. Okay, so let's kind of break that all down. So, for example, a classic homeopathic remedy is sulfur. Okay, sulfur is a mineral, right? It's a naturally forming mineral that we have, right? That you get it from foods, we get it from our environment, right? It's natural. Okay, the homeopathic remedy sulfur is going to be an energetic imprint of sulfur. So what that means is that it's going to be diluted and succussed so many times that there is nothing left but energy, an energetic imprint of that substance. So basically what happens is you make a mother tincture of a substance, right? It could be sulfur. That's an example we're using, but homeopathic remedies come from all forms of nature. So minerals, they also can come from plants like arnica or pulsatilla or stramonium or haseamos. These are all plants. Or it also can come from animals like apis is bee venom or sepia is the ink of the cuttlefish, right? So what we do is we make a mother tincture of that substance. I don't do this. I don't graft my own remedies, but some homeopaths do. But you make a mother tincture of that remedy, and then what you're doing is you're doing a process of called dilution and succussion. And the dilution is that you're taking in a C potency, there's other forms of potencies, but in a C potency, what you're doing is you're taking one drop of the remedy and you're putting it into 99 drops of water. So you have one drop of the remedy and 99 drops of water. Now, what happens is you also do this vigorous shaking in between each dilution phase, dilution, succussion, and that wakes up or invigorates the energy. So, okay, so what you're doing is you're putting that one drop into that 99 drops of water, and that now all of the water takes on the energy and frequency of the sulfur, of the ink of the cuttlefish sepia, of the arsenic amalgam, right? Now you have it's a diluted version of sulfur, but there's an energetic imprint in the water because water has this special ability, believe it or not, to hold energy and information and frequency. So even the water in your body, your exclusions on water, what you say to yourself actually imprints on your water and holds memory, energy, and frequency. That's actually how we hold trauma in the body. Okay, so now this keeps going, right? If I wanted to make, say, a 12C, I would do that 12 times. I would take the diluted version, right, of the water with the one drop of sulfur, and then I would do it again, and I would succuss and dilute again, and succuss and dilute again 12 times. Once you get to a potency of 12C and above, there is no original substance left in the homeopathic remedy. It's just energy, okay? All right, that was a lot already, right? So we're just that's the and potencies can go up from 12C to 30C to 200C to 500C to 1M. Now the M potencies are 1000 times. Um, they're still in this, they're still in 100 times diluted, but it's 1,000, and then there's 10 m, which is 10,000, and then there's 50 m, which is 50,000 dilution. Okay, and then you also have potencies. You'll see potencies like 6C. Now, a 6C will have both the crude form and the energetic form. So it has some of the nutritional components, say if it's a cell salt, like a cell salt of caliphos, right? That will have some of the energetic imprint because it's going to have some dilution and succussion, right? That's how homeopathy is prepared. But then it's also going to have some of the crude form. So you're going to get some of the potassium phosphorica, which is caliphos, right? So you're going to get some of those nutrients as well. Or if it was 6C sulfur, you would get some sulfur. If it was 6C sepia, you would get actually some of the ink of the cuttlefish. I don't recommend ever prescribing that way. I always prescribe on the energetic level unless it's a cell salt. Then I will prescribe 6C. So that's the only time that I prescribe that way, because I'm working on the nutrient level and the energetic level, but I prescribe in the energetic realm. Okay, so now we understand that homeopathy is super diluted and succussed, and it's just an energetic imprint. And if you want to understand how water can hold energy, frequency, and vibration, please take a look at Veda Austin's work. Please take a look at Dr. Emoto's work. And you can see how water is actually holding on to frequency. That's how we actually prove that homeopathy works. Because there's a lot of naysayers of homeopathy saying it's snake oil, it's placebo, and that's because it can't really work because it's nothing. Like there's no substance, but the water is, all of the water is now carrying that substance. And then what happens when you take the pellets is those pellets are, that energy is put into the pellets with, say, sugar or lactose or something to keep the, to give it something for the energy to be put onto, so it can have a pellet so you can take it, right? Or alcohol in an LM potency. Now, an LM potency is diluted 1 to 15,000. So that is a much stronger dilution. So it's 1 drop into 15,000 drops of water. That's a LM1, okay? And LM2 would be 1 drop into that succussed again. So that 1 drop in the 15,000 molecules of water would be moved and succussed into another 15,000 drops of water. So that's LM2. So LMs are actually really, really valuable in my practice. I use them a lot. And honestly, they're the founder of homeopathy, which is Hanan, he's the founder of homeopathy, but he's not, because he's the founder of the preparation method of homeopathic remedies, but he's not the founder of like cures like, because like cures like was used, I mean, all the way back in Hippocrates' Hippocrates' time. So, the thought or the process of like cures like, which is exactly how homeopathy works, it's using this like cures like. So basically, let's go back to the sulfur. If somebody needed the remedy sulfur, they're going to be intolerant to eggs. They're going to be really smelly, like their stool will be smelly, their urine will be smelly, their body odor will be smelly. They'll be messy. They'll be like a philosopher. They never can find anything. They're just always in disarray, but they kind of know where it is, but it just looks like a disaster. They can be fastidious in very neat in very, very chronic cases. Usually their hair is a mess. They're kind of disheveled looking, like they eat whatever they eat, it's on their shirt. There's like stuff all over. They're very, very in their head. They only work in the, like, they're very in their head. They're very smelly. They have diarrhea that wakes up in the morning. Their feet are hot and burning and they stick them out of the covers. Like this is a sulfur picture. And that's the reason why we know that that's what sulfur would cure, is because we did what's called provings, homeopathic provings. And that is done and written down in a Materia Medica. I'll take out a Materia Medica for you. This is one by Dr. Tyler. This is a Materia Medica. So when I open up a remedy, it's going to tell me, this is conium. It's going to tell me all of the things that ensue when a person proves conium. What I mean by proving is that they continue to take that remedy, that substance over and over and over and over and over again, and they start to develop symptoms. So the idea of like cures like is what develops in a healthy person when the person takes that substance, is what it can cure in the sick, because it's like cures like, it's an energy and frequency vibration match, right? Okay, so if you are experiencing all those sulfur symptoms, like I mentioned before, like the smelly stool and the diarrhea at 5 a.m. that gets you out of the bed, and the body odor, and the burning soles of the feet that you have to stick out, and you're really aggravated by heat, and you take sulfur, it will resonate. It has to resonate. It has to match with your energy, frequency, and vibration, and it will put you on the trajectory of healing. It stimulates the body to self-heal. But you actually didn't take any sulfur, right? Which would cause the symptoms. You just took an energetic imprint. And that's the magic of homeopathy. That's the magic of Samuel Hahnemann, because what he did is he diluted the substances because he didn't want his patients to have to suffer using like cures like. So he diluted the substances so it would be less aggravating, right? The cure, because that's another conversation for aggravations and ameliorations in homeopathy. But the reason for the dilution is to make it less aggravating to the system and to bring forth cure in a more gentle manner. So because there's no actual sulfur, but the energy of the sulfur is there, your body resonates, your body picks it up, and then it stimulates the healing. So it's like you remove all the toxicity and you just leave the healing potential of the substance, which to me is like so mind-blowing, right? And it's really cool, and that's what makes it such powerful medicine, and that's the magic of what Hahnemann find. And in fact, Hahnemann, when he originally discovered homeopathy, he started with the C potencies. That's 1 to 100, right? The 1 times 100. So the dilution is 1 drop into 100, and then over and over and over again to how many times they do it. And as his career was ending, towards the end of his life, he started delving into LMs because he felt like even the C potencies were aggravating to sensitive folks, and he wanted to have something that was even more gentle, and that's what he went to the LMs for. So LM potencies, which is 1, the dilution is 1 times 15,000, is more gentle, okay? But I have been using homeopathy for 3 years on myself through a homeopathic. I still see a homeopath. I don't self-prescribe. I think that's really important for me to share. I mean, very rarely in acute situations I could, but I really typically don't self-prescribe, because I like to be be sure when I take a remedy, but I don't self-prescribe because I think it's always, we can get caught up in ourselves, and it's good to have an outside perspective. I'll just say that. So, anyway, I have taken say I've taken a lot of sepia in my life. Without me. I have a sepia layer. It's not present right now, but I do have one, and I've taken a lot of sepia. I've taken 10M, I've taken 1M, 10M, and I've taken LM1 and LM2. And the funny thing is that the healing that I got on the LM1 and LM2 was more profound than the healing that I got on the 1M and the 10M. So the reason why I want to explain this is because LMs are more gentle. They are more effective, I think, typically, especially in some sensitive patients like myself. And they're working on a deeper quantum level because their energetic vibration is higher, right? Because it's very, very dilute. So it's more energetically potent. And honestly, I think what's happening with these LMs is they're actually just getting to deeper layers. I find this with clients as well, like they're getting to deeper layers, like ancestrally, as well. So I like LMs. And like I said, Hahnemann found this out later on in his career. Okay, so I'm rambling a lot here about it, but it's very interesting because I've experienced the same remedy in different potencies, and I can see the difference for me. But it's all individual. Homeopathy is extremely individual. Like you might really resonate with a 10M or a 1M or a 50M or 30C or an LM. Like it really depends. And that takes some tweaking and playing around with, with working with your practitioner. Now, the really cool part about homeopathy is that the more dilute a remedy is, the more potent it is. So the more it's been succussed and the more it's been diluted down, it's going to work more potently, and it works more on the mental, emotional sphere or deeper layers of healing, like ancestral trauma and things like that. So the 6X or the 6C, we'll say 6C, well, X potencies are different. The 6C is not really gonna, it's very physical, right? And then the 30C is like mostly still physical. And then when you get to like the 200C, this is physical and mental, emotional, right? This is like, okay, I'm getting my physical, mental, emotional. This is working on some deeper layers. But then when I go to like 1M, 10M, 50M, this is really working in this deep, energetic, mental, emotional sphere and getting into more like traumas and things like that and getting more into like ancestral stuff. And then the LMs are even deeper into the emotional level. It works, they all work on the physical because the physical and the mental are never disconnected. They're always connected. They're always intertwined, right? Okay, so it's pretty incredible, right? So the more we dilute it, the more potent it is, right? So that doesn't make sense in our linear world, right? We think, oh, we have to just take this substance, right? That's going to be like we need more of the substance for it to be more powerful. But in reality, with homeopathy, the less of the substance, the more powerful it is. Okay, so that's like a mind blow, right? Um, then I also want to mention like with say like cell salts when it's working on the energetic and the nutrient um plane, what it's actually doing is it's teaching your body because it's working on the energy level as well as the nutrient level to better use and absorb said cell salt like NATMR, which is sodium chloride, or another one would be like calc phos, which is calcarea phosphorica, right? It's teaching your body how to take the nutrients that it gets from food and actually use and absorb it. Same thing with sulfur, like any mineral remedy, it's going to then help the body better use and absorb the said mineral. Other remedies are going to do, every remedy has many different unique characteristics and personalities and things that it helps support. Okay. Now, working at the quantum level, homeopathy actually changes the spin rate of your electrons. Okay. I mean, all of this is quantum, but on the mitochondria level, I would say it actually changes the spin rate of your electrons. So when we're in disease state, our electrons are spinning inappropriately. They're kind of like in chaos mode. They don't spin appropriately. They stop spinning. They're not in coherence. They're not moving in the body the way that they should. And suppressive therapies is one of the reasons why we lose this coherence. So when we're taking, anti-you-know-whats or things in the arm at the well visits or whatever, they can jostle the electron spin rate and actually make them stop altogether, spinning in the wrong way, incoherent, more slowly. And homeopathy can actually come in when giving the right remedy for you, has to match. If it's not the right remedy, if it doesn't resonate, it's not going to do anything. If it does something, then it's doing a healing usually, but you always want to see an amelioration after. And that takes time. You have to give time and space for the amelioration to occur. It could take 6 weeks. It could take 8 weeks. So please give time and space. Homeopathy is a slow foods medicine. It is not this. It's not like allopathy, like, oh, quick, 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 quick fix, quick fix. No, 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 no. It is not like that. Sometimes in the physical level it can be, but it's more likely to not be. It's a slowly, gradual progression and building of your health. Okay, so it actually shifts the electron spin rate back together. So it'll make given the right remedy, it'll bring the electrons because it's removing the effects of the suppressive therapy. So what it's doing is it actually then once that's removed, the effects of what knocked it off of balance, it can come back into balance and it can actually start working more appropriately. So one of the cool things too is that in homeopathy we have aggravations and ameliorations. So when your body is so suppressed, okay, you have chronic symptoms because the body is like giving you these chronic nagging symptoms because the immune system's been so suppressed either from emotional and physical trauma, generational trauma, or from the overuse of suppressive therapies like birth control and injections and anti-you-know-whats and steroids and all the things, right? We're always suppressing. Every time we have a symptom, we're like, take this, take this, take this, take this, take this. And that's a product of our modern medical system. So when homeopathy comes in, what it does is it's actually strengthening the immune system. It's like taking your immune system to the gym. It's like a hormetic stressor, right? You can think of it like cold therapy or sauna or things like that. It's like, oh, a little bit of a stressor that the body has to respond to. And so the body like picks up on, say it's arsenic amalgam, that the body might pick that up as like, oh, that's a toxin. We need to respond to that, right? But remember, there's no arsenic in the remedy. It's just that the body picks that up and responds to the energy of arsenicum or arsenic. And then what it does is it has an aggravation of symptoms. And this is actually the immune system getting stronger. This is why we don't want to overdose homeopathy, because too many stressors or too many hormetic stressors to the immune system, it's like you keep pushing it, you keep pushing it, you keep pushing it. That can actually lower someone's level of health. So then we need time and space between remedies. Okay. That's very important. But anyway, my point is it's this strengthening of the immune system. So when the immune system strengthens, we have aggravation of symptoms. And one of my homeopath, when I was in one of my own healing crises, said, without aggravation, there is no cure. And it stuck with me because she's right, because we strengthen and the immune system to express. And when the immune system is expressing and the healing is happening, right? The body is having more symptomology. Oh, that's just how it is. That's the symptoms. When you have symptoms, you're already in a healing phase. So that's how we heal. Symptoms are how the body heals. Okay, so when you have an aggravation, maybe you're going to have diarrhea. Maybe you're going to have an emotional release. You're going to cry. You're going to get a headache. You're going to have, a discharge out of the nose, a discharge out of the ear if it's the ear infection. Something is going to come out. A skin eruption, great sign. I know nobody wants to hear that, but it's a great sign. Like things are going to express, okay? We always want things to come out of the body instead of in, like better out than in. Like that's actually true. You want things to come out, okay? So the body will express in some way. There will be some sort of release, whether some sort of emotional release or a physical release, typically, okay? Or a shift in your life. Like, I'm not doing this job anymore. This is not my job. I hate this job, or I hate this relationship. I'm out. Like, there's going to be some sort of like detox, whether it's on the physical or the emotional plane or on the mental plane, right? I don't want to learn this anymore. I don't want to do this job anymore. Like there's some sort of a detox, like some sort of inner knowing. Your body's like, I'm expelling this now from my life. Okay, but when the body releases more physical symptoms, what it actually does is on a quantum level is it helps. When you have more symptoms, you're going to release more free radicals, right? Because inflammation is free. The inflammation is the healing. Like you cut your finger, right? You're going to get the redness, you're going to get the swelling, the throbbing. It's gonna be painful. This is all your body going. The inflammation or the free radicals are going to this spot to heal it. And then when the body does that, it actually releases more biophotons in the form of light. So it's going to release more of UV light and infrared light. Infrared is heat. You might get a fever. Oh my goodness. If you get a fever, celebrate the shit out of that fever. If you get a fever, okay, the body is going to then be expressing and producing tons of infrared heat. This is good. Infrared light in your body to promote healing and remove all of the junk that your body doesn't need. If you have been under homeopathic care and you have been able to get a high fever and you weren't before, you are on the right track. Okay, I just want to say that right now. So it will actually bring you more healing because on the other side of the acute. So if a fever is the ultimate expression of healing, in my opinion. I think was it Hippocrates that said, no, it's Hermeses. Hermeses said, give me the ability to produce a fever and I can cure any disease. And the only modality that I know that produces fever is homeopathy. Okay, so if you haven't had a fever in a long time, that's a sign that your health is low, and that you need support and you need your immune system. Your immune system needs some support. Okay, so the aggravation actually helps the body release more light and produce healing, okay, and strengthens the immune system. And on the other side of the aggravation, there should be an amelioration of symptoms. So I know homeopathy is a total like mind bomb. I want to say another word. You probably know what I'm saying, but it's a total mind, you know what? And it's like so different than what we've been told. But what we're doing in Western medicine is obviously not working. And homeopaths have been doing this very successfully for hundreds of years. And it's unfortunately that was moved away because of the fact of Rockefeller and the whole, Flexner report and just the takeover of the pharmaceutical companies because they want to make money. It's all about money. Everything's about money. It costs very little money for to make a homeopathic remedy. You can't patent it. It's from nature. And the other thing about homeopathy is it takes a lot of time. So the physician has to spend a lot of time with the client asking all of these seemingly kind of crazy questions like, do you stick your feet out of the covers because we're looking for sulfur? Or do you lean far back for stool when you're constipated because we're looking to see if you're a metarinum? Like the symptoms lead us to the remedy, but we have to ask a lot of questions to find out which remedy you are or which symptom picture you are fitting into, which remedy covers your symptomology. And everybody has lots of layers like an onion. So, you're not just one constitutional remedy. You have many, many, many. I mean, I've got about at least 10 layers that I'm aware of that I've taken different remedies for, but I've not taken, I mean, let's see, I've taken one, two, three, about five different remedies. I've got about five other that I can see in my brain that I probably will need because it's slow food medicine. It's a slow, gradual build up back to health. So we don't just like give them all at once. We don't combination remedies are not your friend. One remedy at a time in a classical way is the way I like to work. I've said so many things in this YouTube video, but I love teaching about homeopathy, as you can tell. And I was going to say that acutes are actually a good sign. They're a good sign of health as well. If your body's strong enough, when you are chronically ill, you do not develop acutes. And I know because I've been there. I just had chronic symptoms and never had acutes. Finally, with homeopathy, I've been getting some acutes. I need some more, honestly, and I'm hoping to get some more. But yeah, that's a sign of healing because it's your immune system is able to respond appropriately and remove what doesn't belong. That's the difference. When you have chronic symptoms, the immune system is not responding appropriately and is too weak to actually remove what doesn't serve you. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope it helps you understand how homeopathy is the ultimate quantum medicine. And it's also the ultimate quantum medicine because it's completely individualized. Like you don't come to me for a headache and I give you the headache remedy. No, 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 no. I need to know about what time does the headache begin? Is it in the front? Is it in the occiput? Is it in the top of the head? Is it on the left side, right side? Is it on above the right eye? Right eye? Is it above the left eye? Is it come before your menses? That comes after your menses every month? That's your period. Does it does it come every night? Does it come every morning? Does it last all day? Does it last for several days? Like there's so many questions. Does it happen in the sun? Does it happen in the cold? I mean, like, does it happen when your feet get wet? I mean, there are so many questions that I could ask about your headache, right? And it's leading me to the right remedy for you because it's very individualized medicine. But that also makes it super, super quantum also because it's specific to you and what your body needs and the experiences that have shaped you and the experiences that have shaped you even before you were born, right? Because you were quantumly entangled to the experiences that shaped you from your mom, from your dad, from your grandparents, all of that. You're that too. And you're also that of the past lives that you've lived and the lives that you are going to live. So you're entangled with it all, right? So it's super diluted medicine, it's energy medicine. It's an energetic imprint of a substance from nature. It's ultra diluted. There's no crude form usually, unless I'm using my cell salts. It improves the electron spin rate of our in our mitochondria. And it also aggravation strengthen the immune system, help the body heal by releasing more biophotons and free radicals that release biophotons that are actually supporting the healing process and the healing phase. And it also not only heals what's gone on in your life, it also heals what's gone on in past lives and your parents' lives, generationally, all the things, right? So it's very, very, very interesting medicine and that I love to love chat about, as you can see, and share more about. And yeah, if you want to learn more, you can book in a clarity call with me if you want to see if homeopathy is right for you. You can also, that's on my website, brightlightwellnesscoach.com. You can also, you know, subscribe to my YouTube channel and just learn, 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 learn. So I'm always teaching. And you can also subscribe to my podcast, The Quantum Health Connection. And you can start learning homeopathy on your own through my courses. I have many courses on homeopathy. My newest one is my self salts course, which I've just created. So this is really great for practitioners because as a practitioner, you can learn the 12 cell salts, which are the inorganic materials that our body is made up of, which is certain minerals that our bodies are composed of, and our organs and our cells and our tissues are all composed of these minerals, micro minerals. And you can learn which one, like the symptomology of what said deficiency of said cell salt. So like you would learn what does a calc phos deficiency look like, and then how do I support that in my client or patient, right? So that's a really great one. It's just the 12 cell salts. I cover them all. I also cover, potencies and dosing and how to switch and all those things. And then I also have a ton of courses for acute. So I have the homeopathy for common childhood ailments. Literally, that you could pretty much look at any childhood ailment and it's covered in that course. And you could pretty much acutely prescribe most things homeopathically if you understand that course. Okay. If you take that course, I should say. So that covers like bedwetting and teething and colic and bloody noses and nightmares and night terrors and wounds and cuts and scrapes and insect bites and stings and I mean vomiting, fever, stomach virus, bedwetting, like everything that a child struggles with is covered in that course. Then I also have like specific ailments, like I have an ear infections course, a flu course, a UTI course, which also covers like bladder infections, UTIs, kidney infections, kidney stones would all be covered there because it's all connected. And then I have my first aid course, which is a great starter course. Like that's like, okay, I have a cut, an open wound, a concussion, a head injury, a heart attack, an insect bite, a fever, um, bloody noses. I'm trying to think, strain, like fractures, strains, things, all those kind of natures of things. And I'm working on one for a women's hormone course, like a women's health course, not hormones, but women's health course. That'll probably be ready probably in a few months. It needs some more work still. But anyway, I have lots of ways you can learn from me, or you could just book in with homeopathy with me and get to experience it yourself. I have to say, if you're doing all the things, you probably have some sort of energetic blockages that need to be supported with homeopathy. And as you can see, it's pretty powerful medicine that works at a deep, deep level. And the things that I've experienced myself have been profound. My family's health has been profound, clients' health has been profound, and I just invite you to try something different if it's not something that you've experienced before. So anyway, I rambled on like crazy, like I normally do. I hope this was super, super helpful, and I hope it gets you interested in homeopathy and understanding how it's quantum medicine, how it supports mitochondrial health, which I could go deeper on that. And I have a video that does go deeper on how it supports mitochondria health. So you can go check that one out as well on this YouTube channel. So anyway, I hope that's all helpful. Have a fantastic day, and I will chat with you on the next video. Oh, please remember to subscribe, Bright Light Wellness, please, and like the video, add comments below, and send me any questions you have at contact@brightlightwellnesscoach.com.